Okay. So thank you so much for coming. So I wanted to share a few things about mostly forensics, but also administration of justice as far as the different career paths and educational requirements, because there's a vast variety and there's some really good resources, websites and such that I thought would be useful for the Career Center, for counselors, and for all of us. So we're all on the same page with our outreach and then helping students find, navigate what they want to do for a living. So to start off, I'm going to share my screen and share with you. Can you all see the San Diego County Administration of Justice pay scales? Yeah,
Hmm.
okay. So this document, our department created a few years ago, and Monique recently updated it. All of this information is from the San Diego County Human Resources website, which I'm going to take you to that next just to see how you can easily find these resources. And they have a great website that not only has current jobs, but all the jobs, whether they're current or not. So you can actually click on it and really easily see what the educational requirements and salaries are. And of course, they keep it updated. But Monique kind of updated this just this semester, starting off with it's based on education, not salary, but based on education. So the first section is positions and salaries that a Grossmont College AOJ graduate could obtain after completing an academy or a state certified course. So no degree. And it's mostly sworn positions. A lot of sworn positions now throughout our county, they pay for people. Pretty much every agency pays for people to go through the police academy. And the sheriff's department, they go to the same academy as the police departments. It's Miramar. And then, of course, you probably know Southwestern College has an extended full academy. Palomar College has a modular. We used to have a modular. Our academy is deleted. We do not have it anymore. Another discussion another day if you wanted to hear about that. But those are the choices. But most agencies, really all of them, they'll pay for people to go through the academy. One of the courses we offer here at Grossmont College is the Emergency Services Dispatcher job that you'll see in this category here. And we offer this course right now. It's every fall semester, Monday, Wednesday night. The certification does not expire. So it allows someone to get hired as a fire, medical, or police dispatcher. And it's the same training that they would get if an agency sent them. So it's California Peace Officer Standards and Training certified. So scrolling on down, this is the second section. These are the positions and salaries a Grossmont College AOJ graduate could obtain after getting an associate's degree in forensic tech. So this is specifically for forensic technology, and it's an associate's degree. So we have a lab assistant, a forensic evidence technician. Now the starting is 67,000, goes up to 82, but that does not include on-call pay. Forensic technicians do get a percentage of their salary to be on call, no matter what agency in San Diego County. It's pretty much up and down the state of California. And so it varies from agency to agency how much the on-call pay is. Some agencies will give them like a lump sum each week. Some will give them a percentage of their salary, but it's a huge jump in their pay to be on call. And then, of course, they also get overtime. The sheriff's department also has a senior forensic evidence tech for someone who's been a tech for a while, and they can move on up to 93,000. Again, that does not include on-call pay or overtime. So most forensic techs for the county make over $100,000 a year. And then, of course, there's excellent health care benefits and retirement for all these jobs as well. Our latent print examiner now technically does not require a bachelor's degree. And that is someone, but it's highly desirable. So we'll talk about that in a second. Starting out 81, going up to over 100,000, they do not typically get on-call pay or overtime. But they also have a,
Dana,
yes.
I think Gary has a question.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Gary.
Oh, no worries. I normally associate that position, forensic related, as not being a lot of openings in our area. Is that still true, or has it gotten better?
So we have entry level jobs, which is fingerprint examiner. And I will hit on that when I show you the Sheriff's Department website. So latent print examiner, really they want a bachelor's degree. Now, if you look at the job description, it doesn't say it's required. But as far as openings go, we have more openings for entry level. For example, right now, BAE Systems, They are a private company that contract hires with Homeland Security. They hire our students for an entry-level fingerprint comparison job. They're a 24/7 operation. They're hiring right now. And well, I don't know if it's closed, but they hire a lot. So they have a third shift. Basically, if somebody comes into our country and there's a question, they're stopped at a port of entry because they might be a terrorist or whoever on the watch list. They are live scanned, fingerprinted by the detaining officer, and BAE Systems has operations throughout the United States. One of them is here in San Diego. And so they'll have to screen that live scan and compare it to the person and say, yes, it is the person, or no, it's not. That's an entry-level job. They hire a lot. And then we do have the Sheriff's Department, San Diego PD. They have entry-level fingerprint examiner jobs, or they might be called Cal ID technician or identification technician. They're scanning fingerprints into the database. They are not making comparisons and making IDs. They can get a job after our forensic tech associate's degree in those jobs. And some of the bigger agencies like Chula Vista, not as big as San Diego, but I don't know if they have fingerprint ID techs. I don't think they do. They have more latent print examiners. So San Diego PD sheriffs have that entry level people who scans the prints in. And then once they get experience with that, they can move up to the latent print examiner. So, and I'll show you about a really great website for finding current jobs as well, but it's actually throughout the whole nation. So I'll hit on that as well. Thank you, Monique. If you could help me out when you see somebody else has a question, because I'm not that talented to look at both. Medical examiner investigator. That's what it's called here in San Diego, but some counties call it death investigator. Some counties call it coroner investigator. We have a medical examiner system, so we call it medical examiner investigator. It falls under the county. A student who completes our associate's degree is qualified for that job. And so they go out to the death scenes, and there's different things with that job. It's not paid quite as well as a forensic evidence tech. I don't know if, I imagine they get overtime, but I don't know if they do. I don't think they get over on-call pay. But it is a job. You're seeing a lot of, you're seeing death pretty much every day. So there's that. Scrolling on down, this is not necessarily for forensics, but this is a really great job that a lot of people don't think about. It requires an associate's degree in any AOJ degree, and that is for the public defender's office, public defender investigator. So our county has a trainee, an investigator 1, 2, and 3. Now, we tell our students, some students will not pass a law enforcement background, maybe for a variety of reasons. It might be because they've had a lot of heavy drug use. So it might be a variety of reasons. Some students, we've had some of our students who have not been able to pass a background in law enforcement, pass one for the public defender. They do have a background, but it's not as strict. So this has been a really great job opportunity for those who as another resource or another job for them with their education. So it starts off 59,000, and they can keep working their way up and it's 1 year experience in between each one of these levels. Only 1 year of experience in between each one. They can go up to 106,000 a year for an associate's degree working for the county. So they get all the health benefits and retirement as well. So it's a really great job. And now we're moving on to the 4-year degree, non-hard science, but it could be a psychology or sociology or criminal justice degree. Deputy probation officer. They love people with a psychology degree. They're really gearing toward rehabilitation. They love people with sociology degrees. Criminal justice is fine too. I would really love to see the county move that up to a 1, 2, and 3, but of course they aren't going to listen to me, but I really feel like they should be paid more for having to have a bachelor's degree. When you compare, the public defender investigator can climb up a lot higher for less requirements. So I hope that they increase that salary in the near future. Moving on down, you've got people that move up in the sworn. Many of them, even if they don't say they have to have a bachelor's, if you're going to be a sheriff's captain, you probably at least have a bachelor's. Many of them have master's degrees. So to move on up the chain as a sworn officer, most of them do have at least a bachelor's degree. Crime analysis, we do not have that training that we offer here, but I thought it was great that Monique threw that on there, because we do sometimes have students who maybe want to go on and move into crime analysis. So they do require a bachelor's for most jobs, and they can get paid pretty well as well, move over 6 figures. Okay, hard science, biology, chemistry, biochem, or physics, or something along those lines, microbiology. This is our county Crim 1, 87,000, top it out at 134,000, you become a supervisor, you're at 150,000 about right now. They do get on-call pay if they go out to crime scenes. For the county, they have to want to go. So they interview and interview internally to be an on-call criminalist to go out and do crime scene reconstruction. It's my understanding that San Diego Police Department require all of them to rotate into going to crime scenes. And I don't know if that's still the case, but it was. So if you're making people go out to scenes, you have to pay them overtime and you have to pay them on call pay as well. So there is that potential, although they are making good money. Toxicologists, a little bit lower scale, but they're usually starting off with like the DUI cases, and then they can work their way up to criminalist. And then, keep working your way up, and you can, as a crime lab director, make almost 200,000 a year. And then Monique threw this in here, which I thought was helpful. Just some other jobs that don't require a degree. Community service officer is a really good entry-level job for people who want to work as a forensic tech or a police officer. Police officers, they have to be at least age 21. So it's a good entry level that doesn't require a degree. So we don't hear about the jobs. We don't get job announcements, but that is a really good job for students to put their name on the list to get an email for a foot in the door. Now I wanted to take you to the sheriff's or the human resources website, but stop me. I know I talk fast, so I just kind of wanted to get through this, but holler if you want me to stop, or does anybody have any questions right now before I move on? Okay. And let me know, Monique, if anybody raises their hand. So if one of our students just Googled San Diego County Human Resources, if they just Google that, you can easily see their website, which is right here. So san diego county.gov. Okay, let me let somebody in. Oh, Daniel's coming in. Okay, so if you click on current job postings, of course, that tells you what's currently open. But then can you guys see where I'm clicking? The top left menu? Okay, you click on that and you go down to job descriptions and salaries. That shows you every single job within the county of San Diego. So let's look at, I'm just going to type in medical examiner, actually, you know what? I should type in as fingerprint examiner. I was going to see the different lists, but let's do fingerprint examiner. Print. I'm just going to type in fingerprint and see what hits up. So we got sheriff senior fingerprint examiner. Notice the salary difference. It starts at 50,000. And if you go down to, I don't know if latent print shows up on this one yeah, it does. Notice that senior latent print is 102 to 125,000, a lot higher, right? And you're like, well, wait a second. I want to be in the six figures. I don't want to make 50,000. Well, this is your entry level that you're asking about, Gary. So let's click on that and see what, I'm just going to the education and experience. I gotta move that. Okay. Completion of coursework in fingerprint identification from the FBI, Department of Justice, or an accredited college, us. So we have two fingerprint courses and an associate's degree in criminal justice or something, or 1 year experience. Now their sheriff's records ID clerk, they scan people into live scan, or 2 years experience in law enforcement. That included 1 year of fingerprint. So you can see how, and Monique, maybe you can speak to this because I know you've applied for different jobs. I believe they count internship as experience for most jobs, don't they?
Yeah, for the internship, San Diego County is starting to be a little different on that. I know a lot of agencies are moving towards if you did do an internship, it has to be a minimum of 6 months full time.
Okay.
So I think that'd
Oh,
be
full time. Well,
yeah, so it depends on your
or
hours you're doing per
oh,
week.
or
Yeah.
1 year part-time.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'd have to do a minimum of because the requirement for most departments right now is 8 hours per week. But I know a lot of our students are actually doing more than 8 hours per week, so they can make sure to meet that threshold faster.
Good, good, good. So that's one way of getting experience. The other is we often tell our students, some of our students, they just can't afford to do an internship, right? They can't afford to volunteer. So many of them are just trying to get either part-time or full-time jobs in law enforcement, and there are part-time jobs. They just have to search for them, or there's student worker jobs as well. So I had a student recently who said, I want to get my associates in forensic tech, but I'm thinking of psychology. So I typed in psych to see what showed up, and so I got different psychology and different things. I mean, I'm not going to take the time to do all the research, but this is a really good website that shows you the different jobs and the different categories. And one of the things we were looking at is like deputy probation officer. They really like the psychology. There's different ones. So she was kind of coming up with a long-term career plan, and things like that. So I'll type in this one more time: medical examiner. I'll just type that at and see. So we have supervising medical examiner investigator. We have 3, 2, and 1. So you can see how even with this job, which students are qualified after the associates in our forensic tech job, or forensic tech associates, they qualify for this job. And so you can see that they can go up to 95, 96,000 a year as a level 3. And then as a supervisor, they're over 100,000 a year. So these are great paying jobs for, let me just see what the supervisor, actually, let's go to 3, see what the 3 requires for education and experience. And then I'll move on to the next one. So 3 years of experience and 2 years of which as a medical examiner investigator makes sense, or 2 years experience and 1 year equivalent and 2 years of supervisory law enforcement. Okay. I don't even see the education here. Did I miss it? Huh.
No, it's just based off of, I think if you go to
Experience.
medical examiner
1.
investigator 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to be a 1, you probably have to have the education. Then they're just basically saying, so 1 year paid experience as a forensic tech or embalmer, blah, 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 or 2 years doing any of that, or an associate's degree or completion of 60 units or higher. That 15 units has to be medical terminology, anatomy, biology, chemistry. And honestly, you see this and you're like, this is unless, I mean, of course, you have to be okay with seeing a lot of different death scenes, right? But what a great career path for minimal education, really. You start off with 1, get some experience, you can move it up to 2, 3, and so on. You're over 6 figures, which is really great. So that's the county. I wanted to take you all to, I think I'll go to Crime Scene Investigator Network next. So I love this website. So if you type in Google Crime Scene Investigator Network, and then you'll see the website, it's crime, you see the dashes in here. I know the guy who runs this website. I took his photography class like 30 years ago or 20 some years ago, and he was a forensic technician in Sacramento. And did a lot of training. So this website gives you training across the United States. Sometimes our students, leave or they're going to move. Where can I continue my education? And it also gives you job openings for pretty much any forensic job across the nation. So I subscribe to this. I'm trying to get rid of this. I don't know why. There we go. I subscribe to this so I can make sure I'm staying up on what the different states across the nation are requiring for forensic techs and things. So I'm telling students the right thing, like what, have things changed across the United States. So let's look at employment opportunities. So if you subscribe to this, you'll get an email once a week. So it's not too many, and it gives you all the updated jobs once a week. So I tell my students, go ahead and subscribe now so you can see what's out there. So let's look at and you'll see the different job titles too, forensic investigator, just different ones. I'm going to let's look at Fort Myers, Jacksonville, uh, forensic technologist, crime scene investigation, just to see what they're paying. Whoops, did I not click on it? Oh, there it is. So it doesn't pay as good as California, 31 to 58, but what is the duties and requirements? And I'm not going to go through each one of these, but this is a really great website for students to see across the nation. Am I missing education? Oh, wait, there we go. A bachelor's or 2 years technical work. I probably shouldn't skim read it out loud, should I? A bachelor's or advanced degree from an accredited college or university, or a minimum of 2 years professional or technical work experience in an accredited forensic lab or an accredited law enforcement agency, or forensic discipline certification. That's kind of broad. But anyway, it's a really great website for allowing students to see what different states pay and what they require. And so rather than taking too much time, you guys can look at that yourself. But this is a great website that we always give to our students. And then I wanted to take you to, this is a document that Monique created. She highlighted just a few. This is from, and I want to show you where she got this from. It's the California Association of Criminalists. So they put out every year a survey of California labs. They don't cover all of them, but they cover quite a few. And Monique just kind of recreated it to put San Diego County at the top. This is another way of seeing the jobs, at a glance. And this is current. So if you look at latent print examiner, up to 7,500 a month, senior latent print examiner up to 9,700 a month. You look at forensic evidence tech from 5,200 up to 7,000 as they promote up. Criminalist, 6,700 up to a supervising criminalist, almost $12,000 a month. So you just see that at a snapshot, the different jobs in the labs. And of course, the other document we have shows you what kind of education you need for those. And but where she got this information from, and I'll take you to this website, is the California Association of Criminalists. So you could type that in Google, or it's just cacnews.org. I'm going to forward all these links and these handouts to all of you guys. I have it in an email. I'm just going to forward it after this meeting's over. But if you go to their website and you click on resources and you go to salary surveys, they have 2022 salary survey. The document is kind of hard to read, but it gives you a lot, and it's in alphabetical order. They don't have all the labs, but as you can see, you scroll down and you see there's Los Angeles County, and you have to kind of look at the top. It tells you how many they have. So they have one chief coroner. They have 0 supervising criminalists right now. Right now they have 3 supervising criminalists, 1. Can you see what I'm looking at? And you go across and there's these little letters that tell you about the retirement system. And again, the category is the monthly salary is what they show. So, so you kind of go across and see how many positions they have, what this monthly salary is, and then you go all the way to the bottom, and that's where you see the retirement and the on-call pay. And okay, do they get time and a half? Do they get health insurance? What percentage is it? What kind of retirement they have? So this is a really great resource that California Association of Criminalists puts out, that we share that with our students. And it's not just for criminalists. As you can see, they have different jobs. I don't know where Washoe County is. Oh, that's Nevada. So it's not just California. And I don't know how they pick and choose which county they hit up, but it's a really good overview to see the different jobs throughout the state and how many they have and things like that. So it is really great to show our students. So I walk through it with them. It's overwhelming, but it's a lot. But then they can start getting a feel for what do these jobs pay. I think that's everything. Is there anything else that anybody would want me to go back to?
No, really great information. I mentioned the chat. It'd be great to have on the Guided Pathways website where we display
Okay.
our plans at. Because right now we're connected to Career Coach, which is very localized, not even this in depth. So we'll find a way to put that display.
Okay. I'm going to stop recording. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoop. Oops, stop. There.